Hey, sis.
And hey, y'all. Welcome back to Hold Up. Let me call my
Let me go, my
sis.
sis.
Ew. It's your
Oh,
girl T Jamaica Pogue, affectionately known as Deconstructing Neuro.
and it is LaMia Radiant here, and clearly
Look at
looking a little
radiant, might
different than
I
what y'all
add?
might be used to. And
Period.
um,
It's not even just a new hairdo. She got on makeup. What is
well, I
this?
usually when I have my hair this low, I have in the past been more inclined to throw a light bead, very light. It's very. I mean, I'm already a light bead type of bitch anyway. I don't like a heavy product situation. But typically, I feel like this look caters to a little something, you know.
Look, it's giving. You look so cute,
Oh, thank you.
sister.
Yeah, I've been trying to go back to the red lip, you know. Yeah, so I just feel like the red lip works with the when you have less going on, it pops more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little focal point. Okay, okay,
But
okay.
yeah, so that's my catch up. Y'all already see it. I'm caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if I had to, because it isn't really just it is a functional reason why I cut my locks. As y'all probably, if you go back to all of the videos, you probably see me constantly twisted and pulling and all that stuff. And I was like looking back, like, oh my god, like clearly these things are like it's like it's doing too much. Like I just need to like focus on other things right now, and it was like a heaviness to the locks. And if you know people who are, I'm sure hair has a spiritual meaning across any ethnic group possibly, but I feel like people of color and typically we hold these sorts of energies, like we see the energies around these sorts of things. And so
Yeah.
hair, cutting your hair, growing your hair, locking your hair is always like more than just an aesthetic thing usually, even if we're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, just the lightness that I feel. And it's so funny because like I did this yesterday, from whatever today is. But I know people are listening to this at a different day. But so I go, my son had soccer games today, and I go to the games and everybody's like they're like because
Who?
they're mostly
Yeah, yeah,
this, so they
yeah.
don't they're
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, so we already look the same to them, but they're like they're like something is different, right? Like you know, and they're like, oh, you cut your hair. I'm forgetting that I did it because like the way I move in general is like I'm not really thinking about what I'm looking like to people, you know, which could be good or bad or ugly. Because sometimes I really don't give a fuck, but
Right.
I'm really forgetting that I did it until I notice their faces or they say something. Yeah, you know, like yeah. So I think that's kind of interesting, just like how it's just how that feels to know I just move how I move. I'm not really like considering what I'm looking like, you know. And
Mm-hmm. At
that
least
doesn't
not
say
to
I'm doing
other
all this
people.
to other people. Yeah, like yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
I feel fine. Like, I know what I look like when I walked out the house, and that's all I care about. So
Right.
anyway, but yeah.
Period. No, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Mm.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm so happy. It's like, yes, welcoming in a new chapter. It's definitely something. Hair holds a special meaning spiritually, and like
Hmm.
it can literally like kind of like chronicle points in time for you, like
Yes.
so yeah, I'm digging it. And of course you actually, we talked about this before, you have the head shape and the face to support that.
It does not work for everyone, yo. It ain't
Not
for
at all.
everybody, okay?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I guess the catch up is real quick because for me, I haven't really nothing really different. Like I'm back to work. This was my first full week back at work, and also full disclosure, if people are listening to this in chronological order, we recorded two videos that are going to
Yeah.
be coming out after this because of what we're talking about. It's like more topical,
Mm.
and so this is gonna kind of get precedence over some of our previous recordings.
Yeah.
But people are probably listening to this and they're like, "Oh, damn, she already back at work. I thought she was still on summer vacation."
Or
It's
they're gonna
just
see me
that,
with locks too.
right
So
in another video, be like, "Damn, this bitch was bald last week." Like,
That is facts.
Yeah, but now like I've been back at work for a week, and yeah, like I don't know, like I genuinely do like what I do. I do. It works for me and where I'm at right now. I am by myself most of the day. I'm a self starter. I don't have anybody micromanaging me. Like I
That
get in,
part.
they tell me this is what we need you to do. I do it, and it's
Period.
a wrap.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I fucks with it. And now I kind of have a little bit of a rhythm where I think they understand that, like, you don't need to give me the fluff. Like, now my manager, whenever he calls me, he needs me to cover something because we're short on people right now.
Yeah.
So it's like every damn day now he needs me to cover something. But he don't give the fluff anymore. He's just like, hey, Tierra, I need you to cover this. Or are you available to cover this? And I give a yes or a no. And if it's a yes, it's like great. If it's a no, it's no pushback. He don't be like, you sure you can't do this? It's like, no, I can't do it. He's like, all right, I'll find somebody else. But
that's good that, and then hopefully they don't hold that against you. But it sounds like they on the same page. So
I think so because I told you on Monday they asked me to do something and I straight up said no, but I had something extra every other day this week.
right,
So
yeah,
it didn't hold them back from being able. And also, like I said, they need people. It's not like
right. And it isn't like you say no every time. Like you say, like, listen, if I got the time, I got the energy, I'll take the coin.
I'll take it, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like you're being uncooperative, like, all around or some shit.
Exactly, because again, like, I'm not volunteering; they're paying me. So if I can do it, I
right.
will. But I'm not gonna do it every time, especially when I know my own limitations.
Yeah.
Or like it's just something where it's like I'm not trying to be working 12 hours today. Like it's just not happening.
Exactly.
But other than that, yeah, I'm cooling.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back into the rhythm of getting up early and being out in these streets. It really hasn't been that difficult, to be honest. Like, yeah, I kind of slipped right back into the routine pretty easily. Like, actually, my day starts 15 minutes later than it did last year. But I still find myself getting there at 6 like I'm used to. And then I'll sit in the parking lot and eat breakfast in my car and, like, not have to rush. Exactly. And I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this because once it's wintertime, it'll be good that I'm there early so I can, like, get my bus warmed up, you know, not have to rush and everything like that. So I'm like, I'm going to just keep getting there at 6, even though I don't have to be there until 6:15 just to, you know, make that the habit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I have a really good schedule between, like, the work hours that I set and the teaching hours. And now, like, I'm starting, you know, figuring out the rhythm with, Noah's schedule because he does cross country and the soccer thing now. So, like, I just was reminded, like, oh, I got to check his cross country schedule, not just his soccer games schedule for the weekends, because apparently I thought I had a weekend off, and no, because he has cross country that weekend. So I'm like,
oh,
I don't mind it because I'm not doing shit. I'm just driving him there. He's doing the work at the end of the day. But the nice thing is that I do the middle school he goes to, the families are very, like, helpful. They're like, oh, you need me to pick them up, but, like, they're very, very helpful in that way. And I've started to be helpful to them too, which I like, because before it was kind of like a little one-sided. I felt like I was like, nah, they didn't need my help, but even though I could have helped, but, you know, I don't know. It just seems like this year they're more willing to be like, hey, can you actually help us out? Like, his friend stayed the night here last night so that I could take them both to the game.
Okay.
So that's I'm kind of liking the village vibe of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. We need more of that now.
Exactly. Yep.
Speaking of that, actually, that's a good segue. I wanted, like, before we even get into Watcher and Dancer, I feel like part of this catch up, and the reason why I say this episode is, like, topical and a little bit more timely, is because of, like, what's been going on and how we can see, like, this like spotlight on just how divided, because, like, you have to have been living under a rock for, like, the last decade to not see how divided this country is. But in particular, especially, like, within the last almost year, just how disgustingly divided we are, and not just on like matters of opinion, but like on moral, basic human like life and value. And that has been amplified by the recent events this week. So, if you've been living under a rock, you may not be aware that the founder of Turning Point USA and political commentator Charlie Kirk was murdered in Utah by a sniper who fired a single shot and hit him directly in his jugular.
Insane.
Like insane. Like the goal was to kill him.
Yeah.
It wasn't to try to scare people, or if it was, it was an addition to kill him. Like whoever the guy who they caught and are saying killed him, his goal was to do that. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's a lot of discourse on all sides. You got one side, the people who agreed with Charlie Kirk, saying that we should have empathy for him and that we should feel ashamed if we don't feel bad for him dying. But then there are people who were and will continue to be negatively impacted by his rhetoric and the ideas that he supported, that are like, no, you can't force me to have empathy for someone who literally said that they believe that empathy is a made-up new age thing, and he doesn't believe that it's real. And he's also the same person who said it's worth it to have a few gun deaths every year in order to protect the Second Amendment and our other God-given rights. So it's like, how do you reconcile with both sides? And to me, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to show how two things can be true at the same time. How you can 100% staunchly believe that nobody should be a victim of gun violence in this country, and also still not mourn the death of someone who died by the method that they staunchly advocated for.
The values that they upheld. That's what took their life. I mean, it's ironic.
It is.
It's sad. No one celebrates it, but it is ironic.
I wouldn't say no one celebrates it. There are plenty of people
celebrating it. There are people. No one should celebrate it. I'll put it that way.
I was about to say, because look, and I'm going to say this, and this is my opinion. I feel like he was an abhorrent human being. I feel like the words that came out of his mouth put a battery in the back of some of the worst people. And we saw that immediately, because before we even knew who it was or even had a suspect, they used this event to justify the violence they had been foaming at the mouth to enact on marginalized communities. And
rather to escalate what they've already been enacting.
That's what I'm saying. They were foaming at the mouth to use this as an excuse to escalate the violence that they've already been enacting. But as soon as information about the suspect was released, and we saw that it was a cis-het white Christian Republican male from Utah, one of the whitest, most conservative states in the country, who did this.
Yeah.
The people who were literally advocating for public executions the day before tweeted out how we need to pray for this lost soul. You ain't see that?
I did not see that. I'm not surprised. But no, I did not. I actually didn't know that was. All I'm hearing is more of the left is still the left. It's still the left, despite them finding out it wasn't.
I saw a series of tweets, screenshots, and I can't remember her name, but it was some white Republican lady who literally tweeted, we need to bring back public executions. And we need to, strike down these radical leftists. And then after the picture and the information about the alleged sniper came out, she was like, we really need to pray for this lost soul.
It's time to get out of here. This place is run by actual psychopaths.
We're in the upside down.
This is insane. That is insane. You're literally being shown who you are in your face Your own people are being taken out by your own people, and yet you still you still won't let go. Like, I don't. It's nonsensical. It's nonsensical.
But wait, there's more. Tell me why the governor of Utah said the quiet part out loud. He was like, after over the last 33 hours, it's been very, charged time, and I was hoping that I didn't have to say that it was somebody from our state.
Yeah.
Just say what you meant.
We don't do that.
I wanted it to be a Negro. I wanted it to be a Hispanic. I wanted it to be a Muslim. I wanted it to be a woman. I wanted it to be a trans person.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be someone that I needed it to be the.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was your boy.
But now that you know that it's you, now what? That's the question. You know who it is. You know who really did it. We don't even know what was even the reason. Like, that's what I'm confused about.
They're saying, and I can't even believe this. This is scary. They're saying that he was mad at Charlie Kirk for not being far right enough. Someone like Charlie Kirk wasn't far enough, wasn't radical enough for him. And he felt like Charlie Kirk betrayed the movement by not being right enough.
He literally shot
somebody that with his full chest said CHINK to an Asian person. Called them, shut up, ink, to their fucking face. Who said that empathy was a hoax, basically, and wasn't a real thing.
I'd like to know what would be right enough for this person. Like,
probably taking a pew-pew and going around and indiscriminately taking out people that they don't like. That's probably what they want to do. And so they're like, he's not doing enough for me. He's not riling up his base enough to get them to go out in the streets like their own little fucking militia and take people out willy-nilly.
Yeah, this is wild. Yeah, I think for me, like, you pretty much brought it up. One of the points that I feel about this whole thing, again, is just that, they're trying to make him the MLK of their movement. It doesn't work because the man had horrible things to say about MLK. So if you're going to compare him to MLK, you're basically, I don't know if he would even like that.
They literally, this goes back into another one of our podcast phrases. They don't create, they perpetuate. Because, like you just said, they're trying to make it seem like he's an MLK martyr. But you know what I saw earlier today that made me literally want to throw up? His wife basically trying to do a Mamie Till and showed her kissing his hand while he was in, like, his casket. Like, rest in peace. Like,
it's so performative. It's so, like, it's so ingenuine. Like, I just don't
disingenuous.
Disingenuous. Like, I just don't even know what to think no more. And the thing is that this is on a global scale, and I'm feeling like I'm seeing it in microcosms around me. Is it something in the water? Is it the fluoride? Like, what is it? Like, it's crazy. But I will say this. This is probably going to sum up how I feel about the whole thing. I do not agree with killing anyone just because they have a different viewpoint or political view as you. And even though this person was not leftist, apparently he did not agree with how right he was, or whatever the case is. But no matter who it was, killing someone because they don't have the same views as you is not okay. And that has been the case since we murdered MLK, since we murdered Medgar Evers. It's been the case since we murdered who was the leader of the Black Panthers. Gosh, I feel so bad I'm forgetting his name, but I mean, all of the hundreds of Black and brown leaders we've murdered that have been murdered because of what they believed in and their viewpoints. So my position is that I believe it's absolutely horrible to murder anyone because they have a different viewpoint than you. Just so happens this is the first person whose views I don't agree with. But we've murdered many people who were on the side of the oppressed, of the marginalized groups who have been taken out by
and they were
kind of, yeah.
I'm sorry, and I didn't mean to cut you off. What I was going to say, and they all had families. Some of them were fathers, some of them were mothers.
Some of them were younger than him. Some of them were in their 20s.
Yeah.
14.
Huey Newton is who you're thinking of for the Black
Newton.
Panthers.
Yes.
And I think he was like 21.
Yeah, he was 21. He won. Yeah. And let's not even bring up the children, the Emmett Tills, the Tamir Rice. You know what I mean? So, like, again, with the hypocrisy and all that stuff, those of us that are on the other side of history right now, we agree with y'all. He should not have been murdered for his views. But this is the first time someone like him has gotten this treatment that was on that side of it. And you're not, you cannot convince anybody with common sense that he's comparable to these other you know, political head figures or whatever.
Right. And the only reason why they have convinced themselves that is because we're in the upside down, and now they have convinced themselves that they are the ones who are being oppressed.
Right.
And they are the ones who are being attacked because of what they believe. They're like, well, just like you guys fought for civil rights because you believed that you were equal to us, we feel like you're attacking our right to X, Y, and Z. And it's literally not the same thing. Because again, going back to
in
what
our
we talked
movement,
about,
it wasn't violent. It was protecting ourselves. So the Black Panthers wasn't about going around killing y'all. It was about, no, if y'all come and fuck with us, we protecting our own. And then Martin Luther King's whole movement, even up until he died and started talking about economics, it was still a non-violent movement.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. But again, they don't see it that way. And when you try to point that out, we already know we're dealing with people who cannot communicate in a way that is logical or based in fact or even reality most of the time. It is literally all about how they feel, and they do not care what the facts are. They and this is why you can't debate these kind of people. I think we was talking about, I don't even know if we brought it up on a show or just us talking, but we were talking about when Amanda Seales was on Jubilee or whatever, and she was doing that debate. Charlie Kirk used to do those too, and actually that's what he was doing. He was in the middle of being on a campus talking about prove me wrong, right?
Right.
And these kind of people, they are not up for a debate. What they do is they want to exhaust you, overwhelm you with all of this stuff that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. So then you wind up talking about all these other things that have nothing to do with what you're actually talking about. Or they use straw man arguments. Like if you say, I believe that trans people should be able to use whatever bathroom that aligns with the gender that they identify as, and then they'll say something like, oh, so you don't care about the protection of women and children? I never said that. But now they'll keep going on about, well, you're saying, well, what you're saying is like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And so now the debate has now become you trying to correct their incorrect assertion about what you said, as opposed to spinning back to what the actual point was. Yeah. And he made a career out of going around making himself seem like he was smart because he was able to talk over people, overwhelm them with points that had nothing to do with what they were talking about, and to disingenuously and purposefully take what they said out of context so that they can have this debate that had nothing to do with what was actually going on.
And it's gaslighting. His whole debate is gaslighting. Make you feel crazy and make you confused about what
moving the goalposts as well. Because even if they get to a point where they agree on something, or somebody was able to get them to make a concession, they don't move the goalpost. You know what I mean? So I don't know. These kind to me, once you get to that point, it's no point in trying to debate somebody who is not interested in facts or interested in anything that doesn't already validate how they feel. In those kind of situations, you need to cut your losses and focus on the people that are actually already in community with you or have a genuine interest in learning.
Yeah. Because
there are some people who, after seeing, unfortunately it took them fucking around and finding out, but there are some people on that side of it who, because
Are
they see it
starting.
now, they're starting to get it, and they're like, well, unfortunately, it took it affecting them and coming into their backyard for them to get it, but at least they have the kind of mind that allowed them to bend with that new information and that new experience. There are still so many people that their heels are so dug in that it does not matter what you present to them. They're losing their farms, they're losing their Medicare, they're losing their food stamps, they're losing their child care, and they're still like, well, at least ICE is out here. Maybe I'll join ICE now. And I don't have a job. I lost my
And take my
farm, but
grievances out on those
out
people.
exactly now I can wear a mask and run around and round up people and have a gun and be deputized to feel like I'm somebody. Even though and ICE is giving out fucking recruitment bonuses and quota fees for how many people you bring in. They're
Which,
incentivizing kidnappings.
speaking of ICE, though, the way Chicago put them salt trucks in front, I said that is the level. That is the level of absolute petty that I live for. Because it wasn't just any old trucks. They said, "Oh, ICE, we got salt." I said, "Yes." That was great.
I said, "Yo, I fucks with Chicago heavy," and I said, I got folks in Chicago for when I went to Bradley.
Yeah.
Most of the black people that I went to school with were from Chicago or the Chicagoland area. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know on the south side and on the west side, they're going crazy. We got footwork, we got juking. Ew.
They was not playing. Yeah.
But anyway, y'all know that about that. That shit used to come on at the college parties, and the niggas was like, All my niggas from Chicago, they know what that is. But anyway,
same thing with DC. They not standing for it either. I don't know where else he trying to. Yeah.
I think at one point he had said something about Philly too, and I was like, they don't call.
No, that would be entertaining.
You know them YNs from North Philly with the shiesties.
Please.
YNs from North Philly, the Akbars from motherfucking West.
Yeah,
and them Southwest niggas. It'll be niggas with horses.
The Great Migration might be going west because a lot of those states in Hawaii are I heard they're already starting to form a type of health care system, something. Maybe it's around the food, because it's basically around RFK and all that. He's dismantling all of our safety precautions around food and the drug industry.
Mr. Brainworm.
And I think it's California, Washington State, Oregon, all that West Coast and Hawaii are in talks to try to So I've already had Washington State on my radar. My astrocartography said LA is a good spot for me career wise. I kind of see it. So a bitch might be on the West Coast, and that's the one part of the country I haven't visited. I mean, outside of the flyover states generally, but I've been to the Midwest in some way a couple times. I live in the South, up and down the East Coast. I have yet to really get to the West. So that might be where we going. And listen, I'm feeling less and less tethered to this place. So
look, I don't blame you. I fucks with the West Coast.
Yeah.
And Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I see. I don't know. It hasn't been that long, history-wise, that the United States has been the United States. So don't think that the current makeup of it is how it's always going to be.
What you mean?
So
they're not going to be exempt? That it'll eventually get to them?
No, who's to say that all of these states are going to be states the way that they were and actually be United States? What if the West Coast secedes and breaks off and says we're our own country? Firstly, they could, because if California was its own country, I believe it would be in the top 10 countries based on GDP. So by itself, California is sustainable. It doesn't need the federal government. It has the GDP of more than half the nations of the world by itself as a state, right?
Something to think about.
But also when you think about it, what was it? Maybe like less than 200 years ago, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, parts of California, Oklahoma were
We're
still
in
Mexico.
Mexico. Right.
Like, that's
Right.
Mexico. So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, listen.
Hawaii, the kingdom of Hawaii, it was its own independent kingdom.
Until like the
Puerto Rico,
1940s or something.
the 1950s.
Crazy. That's
When
crazy.
we were like when Pearl Harbor happened, Hawaii wasn't a state.
That's crazy.
It was the kingdom of Hawaii.
And what's to stop? I mean, what's to stop them? Yeah, like what's to stop them from like being like, we're not like how did they become a part of the United States, and what's to stop them from retracting
Imperialism, because like, and then we'll change the topic and go actually into our watcher dancer, because that is a good segue. But it's imperialism because when you go there, firstly, Hawaii is fucking gorgeous, right? But when you go there, there's two things you immediately notice. You immediately notice how beautiful it is, and then you immediately notice the immense military presence.
Because did they not have their own military before we
invaded?
Invaded it?
I don't believe so. And even if they did, it probably wasn't to the
Robust
par
enough.
of the U.S. military. So, so there's a huge military presence to this day. Like, the whole reason why we was even in Hawaii was because when Daddy was in the Army, he was stationed at Schofield Barracks, and he loved Hawaii so much that I grew up my whole life hearing about Hawaii, and so we went. And the military is everywhere.
Wow.
It's like everywhere we went, people were like asking, do we have any veterans here? Thank you for your service. It's like part of the culture now. We're like, they're always looking like, oh, are you a veteran? Like, everybody was thanking Daddy for his service everywhere we went, because everybody was always asking, do we have any veterans, or do we have any active military here?
Yeah. Wow. Woo! Child chicken. Yeah. So something to think about, y'all. Again, I don't want to see nobody's life be taken. I think in this instance, what really bothers me about it is how it can be used to weaponize certain behaviors against completely innocent people who ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Right. That's what really bothers me about it.
A tale as old as time. White on white crime. It is. Yeah. They got finished tearing each other up in Europe, and so they decided to go around the world and continue to do that. And rebranded. And this is the segue into Watcher and Dancer. Transition.
Yeah.
Rebranded what they did with lange.
Right.
And so our Watcher and Dancer this week is...
That is a good segue. That's calling it now.
Exactly, because our Watcher and Dancer is the problem with language. That's our topic today. And how language is often used as a tool. Again, rhetoric. A tool that shapes how we view things.
Yeah.
Right? So, the thing that had me thinking about individual words over like phrases that we'll talk about was, I saw something today where people were talking, where this one lady was saying with her whole full chest, her dumbass chest, that, just because the Palestinians say that they're indigenous to Palestine doesn't mean that they get to have their own nation inside of Israel. Israel conquered that land. No other country that has been conquered has another country in it. The English conquered North America. So what? The Indians are supposed to have their own nation? She's like, the British conquered Australia. So the indigenous people are supposed to... I was like, you dumb bitch. Firstly, they didn't conquer anything. What they did is they terrorized and invaded.
Because to me, here's the thing. I think what it's showing is that we reward bullies. At the end of the day, that's what we're saying. If you can just go in there and make people scared enough, kill people, be inhumane, then that means you conquered. And somehow we're supposed to think you're so great because of that. But that's not clever. That's not... It doesn't show any kind of, like, strategy. Like, what's strategic and actually makes sense and makes everyone's lives better is to go somewhere and be like, oh, you're already on this property. How can we negotiate living together, building this thing up together? I would have loved, I mean, could you imagine what the United States would be like if we had worked with the Native Americans to build it?
Yeah, we would probably not have this fucking pollution and wealth inequality and food deserts, because they respected the land because they come from the land. Like, these people that have been rebranded as conquerors and colonists, they have a legacy of erasure. Yes. They don't go into places, see what's already there, and respect it. They go in and erase it and try to replace it with what they already have, which is nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, because their insecurities prevent them from being able to actually partner. And they have to erase you because if you're present, it's a mirror of their inefficiencies. And so that creates the entitlement. And, it's like what we always talk about, y'all. Everything's narcissism.
Everything is white supremacy.
Everything is white supremacy.
Yeah, narcissism is a child of that, is a product of that whole system.
Yeah, like imagine if they had brought us over and actually it wasn't like they treated Africans that they brought over like they did. Like, oh no, we want to bring you over here, treat you like human beings, and you help build our society, and we'll pay your kings. No. Okay, wait.
Because no matter what, that's still imposing your ways on it. Here's the thing, like,
because this is even true that they told the kings that that's what it was over there. Like, oh no, we just want, is it true that they like supposedly negotiated with their kings of the tribes or something?
No.
Okay.
No, that is a rebrand. They kidnapped.
Okay.
They kidnapped and trafficked human beings from Africa all over the Americas. That's it. There was no treaty.
Okay.
And then even anytime they did make a treaty, like with the natives, they always broke it. They never kept the treaty. They did a treaty and then they broke it. And then did another treaty and then they broke it. And it was all words. Like, it didn't matter. Right. Like, they were doing what they felt like they needed to do to further their mission of conquering or destroying and invading and terrorizing, right? So, no, I don't feel like there would have been any system of them taking people from one place and moving them to another place to build up their idea of a society. Right, what could have happened, and what had been happening in parts all over the world outside of Europe, was collaboration between tribes. Collaboration between people. And don't get me wrong, there was also infighting, there was also war and different things like that. But it wasn't to the scale of, we're going to come in and take all of your stuff. It was more like, we're fighting over this land that we both are indigenous to, but we need, like, this is supposed to be for our people, and you came over in here, we already agreed on this, that this was our land, and you tried to come in here, we need to push you back onto your land. It wasn't, oh, the people in Senegal wanted to take over Chad, and so they went into Chad and bullied them. No. If the people from Chad was in Chad, the people in Senegal was in Senegal, and the tribes worked it out amongst themselves. It wasn't this whole, I'm going over here to conquer and take. And then they understood the collaboration. Like, you talk about, like, in Asia, the spice trade and the Silk Road, in a positive light, not in what it turned into be. They understood that, okay, so we're agriculturing people and these are more manufacturing. We grow this, but we can barter and trade with these people. This is how indigenous populations around the world operated. Yeah. Feudalism and hierarchy and peasantry comes from Europe and was imposed upon and rebranded as what is supposed to be superior. But you are not superior because you are more violent. That actually makes you less human. You are less human the more comfortable you are with enacting violence against another human. But to
Absolutely.
them, they have rebranded it as, well, I am superior to you because I
Mm.
am bigger and better and better. And that's why I say we're in the fucking upside down, because everything that is touted as being positive and everything that gets rewarded in this fucking world is the exact opposite of what would actually be optimal for human existence across the board.
Absolutely. Because yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Because at the end of the day, like, what are they gonna do if they could kill off everybody who's not like them? Then what? They're just gonna do it to themselves. They're just gonna end up doing it to themselves. They're gonna be cannibalists, which we know they are.
Exactly. They already did that shit. They was killing each other and subjugating each other in Europe.
Yep.
And with the advent of technology, with being able to circumnavigate the globe, they exported their violence. The only thing
Yeah.
that white people have ever created is racism and slavery. And it is the only thing that they don't take credit for. They have not created anything else. But speak to one of these white people, and they talk about white people as if they were God's gift to earth, as if they are God. You wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for white people. And then you go back and you look at the origin of inventions, the origin of math. You think it was fucking,
Egyptians.
yeah, and people from India and the Middle
Mm,
East,
yeah.
medicine.
Yep.
But they have been conditioned. They have been fed this lie that they are superior, and that their violence and their amorality is supposedly what we should be. Hold on, what is Biscuit screaming about?
We on some kind of game in there, y'all.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna need you to get a little Biscuit to
Okay.
pipe down.
I would tell you, if I hear him, I'm gonna get out of
But yeah, but like all that to
it.
say, like the rebranding is crazy.
And rebranding in the language, as we were talking about.
And we see it all the time. So, like we said, they say conquered when it really should be invaded. They
Hmm.
say they call the slaves like yeah, we got the slaves from Africa. No, you enslaved African people. We weren't living as slaves. We aren't slaves by default. But when you continue to refer to enslaved people as slaves, it makes it seem like that's our default setting, to be slaves. Or when people call the top 1% of wealth holders the elites instead of the predator class, you're making it seem like there's something special about them, that is like untouchable, when in reality the only way they got that money is by being predatory and subjugating others. So there's nothing to actually look up to, but the language makes it seem like they're people that we're supposed to be in awe of, that we're supposed to be enamored by, that we're supposed to want to emulate. And unfortunately, that rebrand through force and violence has worked. And we have so many people, and this is why we don't call it white supremacy anymore. We call it the colonial mindset, because there's so many people around the world, no matter what your skin color is, that have internalized that view and perpetuate the system for them.
Absolutely. I don't even know what I mean. That is clear. That is clear. I mean, they had to really make up currency too, because they have nothing to offer anybody. They had to make up money, make up, and it got even worse. Like, it's one thing to make up money, like tangible cash, however that develops, but then you get like stocks and debt and credit, and it's like, oh, everything y'all come up with is like baseless. It's
Yeah.
literally imagination. It's imaginary.
Exactly.
What were some What were some quotes? Because I kind of forgot, but I know we had some quotes, but there were also some other words we you got to last time we were talking, but there were definitely quotes that we wanted to bring up.
So if we transition from just individual words meaning things and shaping how we perceive things, let's even talk about different phrases that have been twisted over time that mean almost the exact opposite of their original meaning, but they get thrown around like they're supposed to be like, these adages that we should live by, not even understanding that we're talking about the exact opposite of the original meaning. And the first one I think of is blood is thicker than water. people love to throw that one out when people build boundaries with their family, or somebody cuts somebody off, or they hold their family accountable, or their family is on some fuck shit and they're like, well, I'm siding with my friend, or, you know, these people over here, my chosen family, are actually, you know, holding me down. They like to say, well, you know, blood is thicker than water. But the full phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning that the bonds that we choose to make, that we create, are stronger than the ones we're born into. Because we can't choose who we're related to. We can't choose who we share blood with, but we can choose who we fellowship with, who we have a covenant with. And I didn't study the origin of how that changed over time, but I can go out on a limb and assume it has a lot to do with probably Christianity and puritanical kind of, you know, ideals around, well, there's a nuclear family and your family is more individualism, things that drove us into being more individualistic, which leads into other ways that we're exploited, like being capitalist, because if you are supposed to be an individual, have your own family, your own house, your own car, your own job, your own this, that, and the other, then you have to go out and make money in this system to sustain that, as opposed to being a part of a community, understanding that community is key to being able to not only survive but to thrive. No, blood is thicker than water. Stay with your family over those people outside of your family that might be trying to get you to join them, and you might be stronger together. Let's keep you separate. Let's keep you having to maintain your own household and your own family and buy twice of everything, because instead of sharing it with other people, you need your own thing.
The irony is, too, it sounds like that quote in its full is a Christian thing, because it's talking about the blood of the covenant. Like, that sounds very Christian. Is it not? Or Catholic, maybe? Something like, you know, some kind of Christian origin?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know the origin of that phrase. And I think I might look into the origins of the phrases, and also if there's any kind of like timeline or like understanding of how the phrases got twisted. Yeah. Right. Not only shortened, but shortened to completely mean the exact opposite. Same thing with a jack of all trades is a master of none. But the full is like a jack of all trades is a master of none, but a master of few is better than one. So it's like, yeah, a jack of all trades may not be a master at just one thing, but being pretty good at a bunch of things is better than being very great at just one thing. But they make it seem like, oh, you're flighty if you're trying to be a jack of all trades. That means you're not going to be a master. Well, maybe I don't need to be 100% perfect at one thing if I'm good at a bunch of other things. Like, you don't need to put me in a box. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I'm looking up a few things now, like a couple other ones that we might have.
What?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna bring up the one that we discussed, but I think even this one is an interesting one. The early bird gets the worm. It's not the whole phrase.
What's the full phrase? Oh, Lord
Jesus. The full phrase is the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Meaning the first one got trapped, boo.
Yeah.
Dead. My cow. So basically it's implying, again, when you don't get the full phrase, then you just think, well, if you are early riser, then that's the only good way to be. But sometimes taking your time,
sometimes being the first one means, and like sometimes being the first one to do it means that you're risking getting that head cut off, or you're risking
or you're not cautious enough. You know what I mean? Like, we like to call people who don't get up early or maybe like hold off on like they're procrastinators or they're just. No, I mean, like, yeah, no, not like that's the thing. There isn't one way to do something right or be excellent at something.
You know, as an ADHD bitch myself, I feel very attacked by some of these. Like, especially the jack of all trades thing. Cause you know me, like I've dabbled in so much shit. I've literally, I still to this day own, and I don't know where they are, but they gotta be somewhere. Tattoo machines, and stuff to make ceramics, and stuff to make like, stuff out of crystals and stuff like that. I know how to crochet. I know how to sew. I know how to do X, Y, and Z. I'm a jack of all trades. Um, Even though I wouldn't say I'm a master at many of the things that I've picked up, I still know how to do it. Shit, I do my own lash extensions. I do my own hair. I do X, Y, and Z. I wouldn't say I'm a master at it, but me having all of these, I do my own nails. People think I go to the salon to get all this shit done. I do it myself. And then some people will see that and be like, well, damn, bitch, stick to one thing. Pick one thing. Why? Why should I pick one thing? I can do my nails, lashes, hair, and make an outfit. You can't do any of those things, but go to work and sit behind a desk, maybe.
That's the only thing you know your systems at work. You know, all your work systems.
Right. Meanwhile, I did that too. How about that?
Right. Maybe not as good as you because that's all you do. But I can do it.
But I can do it too.
But I can do it sufficiently.
Right. Right.
Here's another one I find interesting, and I think this was the one I was trying to remember that this one guy brought up on Instagram that I couldn't remember. Great minds think alike. Okay, that's where we shortened it. That's where we stopped. The full phrase: great minds think alike, though fools seldom differ. Now here's this, and this is very much in line with what we see going on right now. Right, a lot of these dummies think they got great minds like each other, right? They think, oh, we think alike. Oh my,
y'all both just idiots.
Blindly in the blind, honey. Think that, you know what I mean? That it's the groupthink idea, right? So then you get that one person amongst that groupthink that thinks for themselves. So the problem. So that's such an interesting phrase in full, because what happens is you get these groups of groupthink, right? And you got that one person in each that's thinking for themselves. They think alike. That's the greatness that thinks alike. All y'all other idiots. So that's why it is important. That is a very important phrase to know in full, because there is a very distinct difference. If you think like everybody else, that is not a great mind.
Ooh, you know what I just thought of? Another one that made me think of? Curiosity killed the cat.
That's on here, and I wasn't sure I quite understood it, so I didn't want to bring it up. But so I have it here actually. Hold
Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back.
I don't know if I understand that one.
Basically, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back. It's basically saying, like, sometimes when you dig into something, you may be shocked by what you find out, but at least you know, right? So it's like, I was shocked by this. But, okay, like, I get it, right? And I'm not, like, explaining it in the best way, but it's like...
Okay, go ahead, because this...
Yeah, read what you have there. Go ahead.
Okay, they say the original phrase warns against diving too deep into a needless investigation. So that's typically how people use the shortened phrase. It's like, don't be all mind your business, because curiosity, you'll get your feelings hurt or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The latter amendment... first recorded in letter, plays on the trope of cats' 9 lives to change the meaning. There's pleasure in finding out something you really want to know. That's how they...
Yeah. That's a better way to put it. That's kind of what I was trying to get. I was like, man. So it's like, you may, like, even whatever it is could be shocking or new or something like that, or curious, or it could feel foreign to question things, but having the answer or finding out is, like, satisfying. And that actually speaks to me a lot, because I always talk about the why behind the what. Like, as an autistic person, for me, if I could understand something, then I could deal with it. Even if I don't like it, even if it's something that I don't, personally agree with, if I can understand it, I'm satisfied and I can move along. But then they use that to discourage being curious. And so it what it does is it encourages blind compliance. And that's what that's the theme that I'm getting at. A lot of these phrases in full are liberating and affirming and encouraging of individuality, but the way that they've been warped encourages compliance and instills a fear of stepping away from things like family, things like the groupthink, things like, oh, don't be too curious.
Yeah.
Don't think for yourself.
Like they go read banned books. like, yeah. So that's a good one. Now that you've explained that, that makes a lot of sense. That's really a good one. And I might go somewhere and like have these quotes around the house in full somewhere, because this is important to not cut off the full meaning. It really does give nuance to the full meaning of the phrase and what it's saying. There's two more I want to bring up, and this last one kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, the last phrase. But the one that I was thinking of earlier was, it goes, hold on, let me go back and find it real quick. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? Mm-hmm. My phone is being so slow right now, of course. Okay, here we go. The full quote is, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness.
Oh, Jesus.
Baby.
Sweet baby Jesus in the manger.
Dead ass. And now here's the thing. Now I'm a Michael Jackson stan. Everybody who knows me knows. But what I find, so with Michael, if you know Michael, you know that he was blatantly influenced by people. Like, Smooth Criminal video alone is I wouldn't say it's like a carbon copy of some of Fred Astaire's, I think, one of his movies, but like he does like James Brown's movement, like but one of the quotes that I love from him that I think is a great kind of like the flip side to the coin of this quote, he says, study the greats and then be greater. Because the thing about Michael Jackson is, everyone that he was inspired by, not imitating. Yes, you could be like, oh, I can see where he got that. First of all, he knew every single one of them. Knew all of them. They loved that motherfucker. Okay? Mm-hmm. They were like, please take my shit, because through you, I'ma live on. You can tell that was how they saw him. Like, right. You are how my legacy will continue. And it is. In fact, he's been dead 16 years and it feels like he never died. Just him, right? Right. But because of him, you'll find out about the Nicholas brothers, James Brown, Fred Astaire, Spielberg, and stuff like different people with Disney. All these people he was inspired by, but the key is, and make it greater. That's what that nigga did. A lot of people, they just copy. They have literally no innovation of their own. So while Smooth Criminal, you can look at one of these movies that Fred Astaire did and be like, oh, I see the influence. But that nigga put that lean in there, changed the whole game. The song itself, just what inspired the song. This nigga was learning how to do CPR on a dummy named Annie. And the phrase they taught him to say, and this is true because I took CPR classes twice. They said you're supposed to ask the person, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And he made a song. Do you understand me? So again, like the counter, that this is why I love this man. This is why I'm obsessed with this man. So the counter to that phrase.
I'm sorry, I'm over here gobsmacked.
I know. I thought I told you that before.
You be spamming me with Michael Jackson information. I do. Even if you did, it might. But nah, that's
how creative he is. And then the whole narrative about someone being murdered, or whatever. He like saw it in the newspaper. Boom, Smooth Criminal. So like so it's like he gets inspired, but it only fuels and elevates the creativity he already has. You know what I'm saying? Like it's impossible not to be inspired and influenced by things if you consume art in any way. You're going to be inspired by something. But there are people that will straight up steal your shit and then not give you no credit for it.
We see it all the time. We see it all the time on TikTok, especially when TikTok was first like popping around the pandemic, and a lot of people were on the platform. We saw it time and time again where like a black creator created like a dance or a trend, and then a bunch of people did it, but then the white person got credit for it and blew up for it, and then never gave credit to the original creator. I remember there was this one girl, I can't remember her name, I think it's Addison, right, or some shit like that, some white bitch. And she stole a black girl's dance, but she was on like Ellen and all these like talk shows, like teaching the dance like she was the one who made it up. And it took enough backlash online for her to finally be like, yeah, you know, I was inspired by. No, you weren't inspired by this black girl. You stole her fucking dance and then tried to pass it off as your own. This is why we get so tight about appropriation, because you're not inspired by, you're stealing and not giving credit. So imitation is not the highest form of flattery. It's only the highest form of flattery for mediocre bitches who don't know how to create and can only perpetuate.
Well, the phrase is, it's the most sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can give greatness. It is the most authentic way they can say they like something, is to just imitate it.
Right.
They can't actually acknowledge that you are great, that you're better than them, that you thought of it first. They can't acknowledge that, so they just steal it. That's the sincerest way they can show you that they like it.
And that's actually pathetic. I'd rather somebody be like, where'd you get that skirt? I would love to get that skirt. It's too cute. And then I'll tell you, because I'm not going to gatekeep. But if I see you showing up, walking around me with the skirt, and then people are complimenting you on it, and you just say, yeah, you know, I just saw this in the store and I thought it was cute.
That's psychotic. You would be like, looking at like, the fuck? What?
Hey, but I never saw you wear that until I wore that for like, you know, okay.
Oh gosh, I had a thought, it just escaped me, but dang. Yeah, the imitation thing is bad. And as an artist, like someone who is constantly coming up with ideas, I'm constantly innovative. I'm not in a scarcity mindset about me coming up with an idea. I'm not. And so oftentimes, but you know, because of that, because I project my goodness onto others, I used to be in a space where like, I would love to share. I don't mind just giving my, choreographing stuff on people and, okay, whatever. You got something that says that, you want to own my stuff. Go ahead and own it. I probably already did it 4 or 5 times by the time I gave it to you. Mm-hmm. So like, and I got more than I got, because the thing is that as I evolve as a human, so does my work. So does what I want to even say and do and offer, and what I'm expanding my mind. And it is unfortunate when people, particularly when you're in the world of, now we're like content creators and all that stuff, but as a general artist, and we forget how much of our society depends on art. There is so much that is like architecture and like
it's an art.
That's art. That's art. We forget how much it's like. I think we've made art to feel like, oh, you make some pretty pictures, or you can diddy bop, or you sing cute, you make a little cute song. No, that's what those industries have made it. The music industry has made music about
a commodity.
Yeah, but what they've done is just water it down where the art form that it really comes from. I was just like watching John Batiste basically take Mozart and show you how that translates into blues, gospel, brilliance.
You know what I was thinking of? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But when you were talking about just like music in general, first thing I thought of was Sinners, right? And how music is literally like transformative. Like it could take you to another place and time. It could transport you.
That
like, anytime I hear.
Yes.
Anytime I hear, and this is going to sound kind of like weird in comparison, but anytime I hear Day and Night by Kid Cudi, I remember exactly what I was doing, because it was a really important like day. Like I was driving from my school in Peoria down to I forget this tiny little town in Illinois where I spent spring break. At one of my friend's house, but we basically like camped out, and it was like actually like a crazy time. It was the best spring break I ever had.
His story, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember, it was his house. It was Mitchell's house, his family's house, but it was like on the county line. So like the backyard was like a big open field that we could basically like just be like chilling out, and we had such an amazing time, and it was so different. It was like the first time I ever camped, really. Yeah. And it was the best like spring break in college that I had. And I just remember as soon as I was about to get on the highway, that was the first time I ever heard that song. It was on the radio, and I was like, day and night. What a lonely. I was like, I was feeling this. But like, that's just like one example that popped into my head. But like, yeah, music, art itself, it's a language in itself. It gives language to things that we don't always have words for.
Well, I think it's the closest thing we have to reminding us that we are in the image of God. Because if there's a God the way we think it is, that entity created the physical realm that we exist in, right? We can't necessarily do that. Like, I mean, we create in like making babies or something, but we can't just like make something appear, right? Unless it's art.
Like, exactly. That's the only thing we can bring from nothing to something. Because even when we create humans, it's already from the eggs from some us and the sperm and exactly.
Like to some and one could say like, okay, but like when I make up a dance, I'm using the physical form of my body to create that, but the dance itself, the movement is not a tangible thing.
Right.
The like music even, it's like, okay, we might be using these physical material things to make a sound, but the sound is not, and how you put it together, it's the closest we can get to like reminding ourselves of the God in us, essentially.
Yeah, that we are co-creators in the universe.
Yes. And it should be valuable. It should be valued. It's like, but
we're in the upside down, bitch. This is what I'm saying. Everything that's up should be down, and everything that's down should be up.
Mm-hmm.
There's even a theory, and I'm gonna send you the video because I follow her on TikTok and on Instagram, and her name is eluding me right now, but she is she's like basically a philosopher. I don't think she has like formal philosophy training, but the way she speaks, she is so philosophical.
I get that, yeah.
And I forget which country she's from in Africa, but she is a black woman from the motherland. And she talks about like in a lot of African cultures, the map is upside down, and actually Africa and South America and Australia are in the north, and Europe and Asia or parts of Asia and North America are in the south. Like there's actually like, and like seeing as how the earth is round because it's not flat. Who is to say what's up and down? It's a fucking sphere.
The earth is it's a sphere.
So who's to say that what we've drawn is the top? Maybe it is upside down. Maybe like so what's north and south relative to what?
Bitch, you fucking me up.
Wait, you said it.
Yeah, because we keep, and here's the thing too. We've been told it spins like this, right? But you're right, relative to what? Because when you're saying it's just vast space, we're deciding that the earth is in a position based on where, from when they went out and saw it. Like, you're right. This is fucking crazy, bro. So who's to say that, like, maybe the spinning is this? And there's, like, this spiritual... Because, like, this type of nonsensical bullshit we going through, it's not how the world is all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a cyclical thing. It's like every now and then, motherfuckers lose their fucking mind and almost destroy the planet. So like, yo, that just messed me up. And
I'm saying though.
That brings me kind of to the last quote that I found. It's actually a different quote, but I lost the original. But this one's similar, and I think this one is more popular for people. Rome wasn't built in a day. Full quote. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned in one. So yeah. A lot of people have compared America to Rome, and for good reason. Sips tea. A witch's brew.
Yes, this is what I've been drinking my coffee out of, my little cauldron.
But, I mean... Yeah. So yeah, y'all, words mean things. Phrases in full really mean things.
Context matters.
Context matters, baby. But to your point, it just goes to show how whoever they are have subtly used things like these sorts of phrases and other things, language in general, words in general. And because we were kind of talking about this, but this might have to be its own subject, but like how you can kind of change just even what a word means. Like, what is professionalism? This has been on my mind lately. And again, I won't talk about it too much. I think it could be something we expand on later. But even down to those things like that, like that a word can change its meaning by how we socially skew it.
Right.
So being careful on that type of shit. No, they're not conquerors. They're colonizers. They're terrorists. That's what it is. Like, the word thug. Like, oh, they thugs. They now we got the. I almost kind of like how in what was the trial down here, and they tried to rebrand with thug meant. It was like thankful.
What?
Thankful, honest, under God, or some shit.
What? Who said that shit?
It was Young Thug in that whole trial that they had here in Atlanta.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that. Yeah.
Well, but for those who know about it, it just ended not like a few months ago. But it was like one of the longest trials or something. It was like a RICO charge they had, and they were like saying that they were a gang, and it was a whole mess. I didn't follow it that closely either, but essentially there was one argument that Young Thug's like representative had where they were like thug means something else. It was some kind of acronym. It was like something under God or something like that. But as funny and ridiculous as that is, so fucking what? They change words all the time. Why can't we redefine what the fuck thug is? Like, when people have a problem with how we use nigga, we get to change that. We get to transmute whatever negative shit you want to use against us. Why can't we change words for our benefit, for our empowerment? There's that too.
There's that too, and you're right. That is another topic that we can definitely dive into because, they like to do that shit. I think when we talked about that before, I was like, even the word ignorant. Ignorant, how did it go from meaning uneducated to rude? Like...
Yeah, there too, yeah. So, yeah, but this is a good starting point on language, and, yeah, I don't even think, did you bring up the guy from Instagram or somebody you follow that talks about language, or was that kind of a different thing?
Yeah, so Son Michaud, I love his work because he talks about like language and like how when people try to police your grammar if you are an AAVE speaker, or how they try to say AAVE is not proper English when AAVE is its own form of English with actual grammar and grammar rules. Like, that's why I think that ties into that other conversation about professionalism. But yeah, I was talking about Son Michaud, and we'll bring him up when we cross that topic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this was a good one.
Indeed. So now is the time in our show that we talk about what we're hating or loving to hate. These are the things
guys,
we'll talk about.
If anybody listens to this and they like, y'all have any like segue sounds or, I don't know, something, because I feel like we need some like little something like demarcation.
Yeah, somebody write us some jingles.
Write a jingle for us.
What's up?
We need
help us out.
Yeah, or sponsor us, and you can get a sponsor between these segments.
How about that? Looking at you.
Give us a little holler.
Looking at you guys over there. Might I suggest Basket Leather?
Oh,
because their edge control is
down, baby, down, baby.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and segue, Peffy. Big sister, what are you into this week?
This one should be short and sweet. Well, I cannot believe that this is about to be someone that I love. Like, it's actually gagging right now. And I'm going to also connect this person to MJ because they are very MJ coded, and I will get into that a bit here. It is soothing my soul right now to discover, and apparently this isn't really even like new information, it's new to me. So some of y'all might be like, girl, we've been knew that. Miss Paris Hilton, honey, is giving me life. And I think you even said that you kind of knew a little bit about where she was too. But I was kind of like, because I never really cared about Paris Hilton, like Kardashian. Like I kind of put her in the pool with the Kardashians and all that type of people, which she was like that was her circle. But to find out that basically she has been cosplaying like a dumb blonde this whole time, it's like I am like what I'm learning. I'm like I need to study this bitch because she was on a mission. She was on a mission, and it's honestly I was watching some stuff with her a couple days ago, and then it led me to an interview with Pam Anderson. Similar idea. Very. I mean, that would be my homegirl. She's talking about her garden, and she's on this no makeup thing now, and I was kind of intrigued when I first started seeing that with her. Like, oh, okay. But it goes to show, like, how someone is when they don't have anything to prove anymore really shows you who they are, and the fact in this space of like, I don't care about the bombshells. She's not trying to stay. She's not trying to go and make herself still look the way she used to look. Like, because that's all she's all. It shows that she's always been secure in herself, really.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just gotta play up to, and sometimes people are figuring things out, especially when you get thrown into like fame and Hollywood and all that stuff. Like, it's even if you are a secure person, you gotta get your footing, and you might play into things because you might not have the right people around you to help guide you all the time and all that stuff. So it's not to say that someone going through the motions and sort of looking a certain way means that that's who they are. But I think, yeah, like you look at Kris Jenner. Granted, she looks great. She does not look her age at all, but she has some work done that bitch don't look real at all. Like, she looks like plastic down. So like, so that it's just that different. So and I did hear maybe like a year ago. I was listening to the Friend Zone. Shout out to Dustin and Fran and Asante. And they were talking about the whole like school thing that Paris was advocating about. They had an episode talking about that, and they were like, yeah, and they kind of like mentioned it toward the end, like, yeah, so Paris Hilton went to these places, and she's been talking about it, and that kind of struck me even a year ago, like, oh, really? But it hit. So I don't even know what did I stumble on where I really saw this, and I don't know. I never know what really triggers my obsessions usually, but or how I get there. But I think it was something came across my YouTube that was like Paris Hilton's real voice or something like that. And I was like, okay,
right,
honey. When I heard her talk, like, and it's not to say that it's her real voice, but it was just wasn't the voice we were used to hearing her speak in, and the whole, just the energy and how eloquently she was speaking. Because like, and I also wonder like how neurodivergent she might be, because there's still a way that she talks that can sound dumb because it's not very flowery in words. She uses just the right words for what she has to say.
So I clocked in. Neurospicy has into the chat. So firstly, she definitely has ADHD, and that's how. That. So when you said you was into Paris Hilton, I was like, yeah, bitch, I started following her on IG a minute ago because she dropped a whole song about having ADHD and all that stuff. But yeah, like, just being very direct and saying exactly what you mean and using words in the way that they should be used.
Right.
Very ADHD, and I'm not saying autistic, but some autistic people are, especially like that too. Right. So yeah, it's giving spicy.
It's giving spicy.
And I love it.
And I'm here for it. Yeah, and then just seeing how like, she's really into business, but it was like part of it is twofold. Part of it was like going through that trauma that she went through at those schools. You don't realize like somebody growing up, well off doesn't always mean that their experiences are ideal. Sometimes the poorest people have much better upbringings, more love and just acceptance than some of the richest people on the planet. Right. And it seems like that was her issue. And you know, which again, if so, I was also thinking about how she's coded, MJ coded, and that's a similar thing with them too. Both pretty much in good situations financially pretty early in their life, right? Like he got to Motown 9 years old, they blew up, right? So that's almost really all he knows is that existence. But we know what came with that. You know what I mean? We know what, not only from Joseph, but even from Motown and how trash they were and how they overworked the fuck out of them kids. And then you hear about her situation and like, wow, you don't even realize that like it looks one way to people, but it's really what's really going on. So then you get both these people are like, I gotta prove, like that trauma has made me want to prove like that I'm lovable for one, that I'm actually lovable, but I don't deserve that treatment. And I've heard Michael say that as an adult. Like I wanted to be loved. He's in an interview saying like a secret, not a secret interview, but like one that most people haven't heard talking about that. And she has a similar energy. Like, I didn't deserve to be put in those schools. And so it almost like success for them was their way out. That's what it was. You know what I mean? Like they were, I gotta make this much money. I gotta sell this many records. I gotta have these many products. So we look at their like almost like pursuit of monetary success. Like you can look at that and be like, oh, it's greed, or like, but it's not. Like their motives are very different because they end up really being very charitable. They end up like using that money to help others. And really, it stems from a place of, like I said, wanting to feel like they're loved by the people that they felt betrayed by. And also, it's their means out of there. It's the means out of the situation that caused the trauma for them. Because Paris actually didn't inherit no money from her dad. I think her dad died recently, or a grandfather. Somebody in the air, and someone that she should have gotten money from didn't leave her shit.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like they really kind of treated her like a black sheep. It's a very interesting story. You gotta watch her documentary. It's good.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
It's really good. And yeah, so like, and then her love of animals. She's like, I like being around animals more than people. Woo! This man was walking a llama around the suburbs, baby. Like, she was talking about her DJing, and she's like, I just feel so like I love my fans so much, and like when I'm up there, I really feel the love. Like DJing is like where I feel alive. Same thing this man said about performing. He's like, I literally sleep with like stage lights in my room because it just makes me feel comfortable, like comforted. It makes me think I'm feel like I'm on stage, like. I was gagged. And then, the last little tie-in is that, Michael says that he named his daughter Paris because that's where she was conceived. Whatever, sure. And I'm a fan, and I'm a fan, and I'm still skeptical. But the other story is that he, I think he was he's friends with Paris's mom. Paris Hilton's mom. And they both were like, when we have daughters, we're going to name them Paris. That's the other story. So there's Michael's story that he tell everybody. This is the other story. I think Paris's mom actually said this somewhere. Wow. I think maybe both could be true. I don't know. That would be a huge coincidence.
Right.
But yeah, so there's that other kind of like real life connection between the two of them. Like he was friends with Paris's, because there's actually a clip of him. He was in like the early 2000s. He had like a broken foot or something, and he's in the airport. I guess going to like a jet, and he runs into Paris's mom, and they're like kikiing or whatever. Kikiing, like yeah. So yeah.
Look, I'm always happy when I be like, one of us.
I'm a fan. I am a fan, honey. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I actually did watch The Simple Life back in the early aughts. So in the early aughts, yeah, I used to fuck with like, even though it's so weird because I never, I can't stand the Kardashian Jenners. I never liked them. Yeah. From the rip, like never watched a single episode.
Even of Kim, because some people like to be like, oh, she's so like, helping with the
none of them.
So there's
none of them.
there's a difference. Something about Paris. Paris seems more authentic than something's different.
Absolutely. And also, I felt like, because even with that whole persona, clearly, like, now that we know it's a persona and it's not really like, even something about that felt more authentic than anything there. Because, like, I liked watching the Simple Life with her and Nicole Richie, because to me, it was hilarious. It was like, they are funny to me. Like, they are really out here trying, but this is like such a completely different world to them. And,
It's
like,
almost
I just
like Paris was making fun of the thing, whereas with like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, was
I felt like she was
actually drama that they have.
It was more self-aware. It's like, I know that this is like not what I do as an artist, and so I'm gonna go out here and try to like live on somebody's farm and like do X, Y, and Z and actually have a job and actually do something with my hands, as opposed to like these manufactured fights and drama.
Right.
And I just never gave a fuck about anything that the Kardashian Jenners have ever done. And they just never like caught me.
Because it's really their drama though. Like, they really just modified their actual real life dumbass drama.
Like they're trailer trash if you think about it. Like if they didn't, like, Kris Jenner, her best product is her marketing ability. Because she's been able to like rebrand them as somebody that like people should be trying to emulate. When then you think about it, like, she raised a bunch of baby mamas, and like they're actually like a lot of the things that black women get demonized for, they get glorified for. They get glorified for fake butts and fake lips. A bitch that was born with no lips became a billionaire off of selling lip kits, which will never not gag me.
Meanwhile, and look at the pop I'm serving. Period. Baby, body down, like
melanin from within. This might never had to pay for a lip.
My tresses was becoming a signature, like of mine around here for a while. This red lip might have to be. This gonna be the look, like anyway.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I fucked with Paris even back like 20 years ago. I was like, yo, like it was something about her. Yeah. It was about both her and Nicole Richie. I was like, I fucks with it, and I just I never had that same energy for the Kardashian Jenners, for any of those other kind of like, who was it, them people that was on MTV, like, was it Heidi and Spencer? What was it called? The Hills.
Oh, really? Were they like real life socialites or something like that?
It was supposed to be. It was like that same kind of like energy. It was like, I was like, I never got into that shit either, because like I don't care.
And I think that is the real difference, is that while Paris was playing up to what y'all thought she was anyway, she was doing it with a motivation. Like, it was a motive there that was greater than that. And she knew it, right?
And she wasn't just trying to be like on TV for being like, she was doing something. Like, nobody told her that she had to go and like actually start working with her hands and living on this farm and doing these things. Like, granted, she was doing it on TV and making a bag from it, but she didn't need the money. Like, I feel like part of that, and looking at it like in hindsight, part of that is part of her like peeking out a little bit of who she really is, but playing up to the stereotype of what people expected from her. So it's like, people expect me to be this dumb ditzy blonde who doesn't care about anything, but in secret, I kind of want to learn what these people are doing on farms and like see how they are working with their hands.
And I don't look down on them.
Right.
Actually,
I think it's hard, and I need to know what it's actually like to do this hard work.
And the thing is, too, is what I hear people say about, like, think about it. Have you ever heard anything bad? Like, people be like, Paris was such a bitch, and they, like, you never hear that about somebody who could easily be that way.
Right.
I mean, literally, like, even compared to Kim, she's more the skinny blonde. Everything about her, she could really be an asshole.
Absolutely. So, I get it. I truly do.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see it. So I'm gonna just keep studying her a little bit. And another thing that makes me, second thing is the whole voice thing too. So there's two more things MJ coded that I noticed. The voice thing is
not you. Have No hair.
Right. I will always have a hair flip. I don't need hair to have a hair flip. But the voice thing is interesting too, because somebody just posted this sound bite. It's like a minute and a half of Michael and his brothers. It sounds like it's maybe in the early 80s, so we're talking like right before Thriller came out, so he might have been recording it or something like that. They playing around in the studio. This song ain't got no words or something like that is the lyric, which is kind of cute, right? But I'm listening. The first time I heard it, I was like, there was one person kind of like leading, and you want to think that it's Michael because he leads the group,
right?
Vocally, usually, but it didn't sound like the Michael right? I sent this to you. You listen to it and you'll know what I mean.
Okay.
And I had to, because I'm listening to, okay, this is cute, blah, 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 and then it ends, and I was like, and there was something that the person said that made me think, like, is that Michael? He had, because his pitch wasn't high like we know it to be. He wasn't singing like in a falsetto. He wasn't singing like you know him to sing, but there's certain like ways he pronounces words and things that I just like, no, I'm like, that's Michael. Mm-hmm. And I was shocked at how different he sounded. It was like he was in a lower register, but very naturally. It was crazy. So like, and again, it's not to say, because there were moments in that sound bite where you could hear, oh, okay, that does kind of sound like what I'm used to hearing, but just throughout it wasn't consistently that way. So I find that very similar between the two of them too, because you'll notice in interviews she kind of will go in and out too of like and then she'll because she has a very deep voice for real.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So I thought that was interesting, and then also was one more thing. The fact that she pioneered something that pretty much identifies a generation. So with him, it's music videos and stuff like that, right? Mostly the music video thing. Lots of other things too, but mostly that. She was one of the first, and they talk about this in her documentary, one of the first to go around selfies. She was doing that shit. Having somebody come around and videotape you doing stuff like, and she'll even admit like, I started a monster. Basically, like, because even she hates the shit now for real. But she was the first to really do it.
I didn't even realize it, but as soon as you said it, yeah, I remember that. She's like, yeah, like that was her. And even when you were first talking, I thought you were gonna be like, what, velour tracksuits? But that was also a thing too, like
that can stay in the 2000s. It really can.
But Mimi, these bitches are, and then like I got my first vintage Juicy Couture. I saw this little bitch say, I got my first vintage Juicy Couture. It's a 20-year-old set.
I feel attacked.
I wanted to jump through that screen and slap that little bitch, but she was right. She wasn't wrong. It was a 20-year-old set. She thrifted it. I would have been 05. 05 was the end of my junior year, beginning of my senior year in high school. Bitches was definitely rocking Juicy Couture.
What constitutes vintage though? Because even in the early 2000s, I didn't think something from the 80s was vintage. Because I was from the 80s.
But you did think something from the 70s was.
Sure, that's like...
Because it was from before you. So if you got kids that was born in 2015, somebody born in 2015 is 10, about to be 11. To them, something from 2005 or 04
is vintage. Vintage. The timeline is getting lower. Like even what you just said.
10 years is ridiculous.
70s is around the 2000s. Talking about the 70s is vintage. They're in the 2010s, 2020s. Talking about 2005 is vintage. Okay.
I know these children, they're disrespectful, but they are, because anytime they refer to us being born in the 1900s, I want to smack them. I mean, it's technically true, but the way you say it feels like a slur. It feels like a slur. I don't fucking appreciate it at all.
That's real. Oh my god.
But what a time! What a time!
Yeah, what a time! But we love Paris Hilton, and girl, just. I hate to praise somebody and then find out it's something else. So I just hope this is really who you are. I feel like it is. And, I won't regret.
And like you said, she's been famous basically her whole life. And the most problematic she was the time when her and Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears were all party girls.
Yeah. And who
And
hasn't
that
been that? I got friends
right.
that was their lifestyle for sure. Like
Exactly.
yeah.
When you are young, rich, and pretty, what else,
Yeah.
and don't have to work, what else are you gonna do?
Right. Right. Yeah. It doesn't. No one's gonna be perfect. I mean, like Michael wasn't perfect. You know, like he did do a bunch of fuck shit surgically that he didn't. Despite even like outside of the medical stuff that was kind of necessary, he did do shit he needed to stop doing. And like, if
Right.
you're a fan, I hate fans that can't just say that and admit that. Like he had body dysmorphia. He did. Like he did. You know. So But yeah, so yeah.
Oh, look, like I said, we on the same page with that, big sister. But
did you have
yeah,
anything or loving today?
I didn't, not really,
Okay.
cause like I'm just living life. If I were to say anything, I am loving the shift that I felt in my life. I feel like I have a lot more clarity when it comes to like what I want to do, and I'm more resolute. Like even when it comes to like my fitness journey, like this week going back to work and being full time at work, it would have been so easy for me to convince myself to stop and get like some fast food for dinner because I'm tired. But even last night, I came home and I cooked. I made some kale with turkey tails and some turkey wings.
And are you going back to the keto stuff? Kind of the keto thing?
Not fully, but like I'm basically prioritizing meats and veggies, and then I'm not completely excluding carbs, but like that's what I've been craving lately. Is just meat and veggies and some fruit. But like yeah, I haven't. The only thing that I have been still doing, but I've been doing it less frequently, is every once in a while I'll stop and get a coffee, right? With regular sugar. But like right now when I'm drinking the coffee that I make in the house, I got sugar-free syrups, sugar-free creamer, make my own coffee, but I haven't gotten anything fried. I haven't gotten anything fast food. I've been cooking. I've been taking my protein. And yeah, I haven't even been tempted to get like sweets or a cookie or chips or anything, and that's different. Like I've used to have to like make a conscious decision to not do those things, and now it feels automatic that I'm like, actually, I really want some broccoli right now, or actually, like when I woke up, the first thing I did was drink some water and eat a peach, and that's different. You know, but I love it because, like, it feels more sustainable this way because it's a genuine desire, and I don't feel like I have to force myself to do it. Y'all not ready for sexy Tiara. I'm already adoring. Y'all not ready for me to be shit.
Literally that though. Cause the way you was stunting on people back when you was at your smallest. Like like you said, I think it's gonna be like, let's say you don't even get that small again. You do lose weight, but maybe let's just say it maybe doesn't get that. We're gonna say it is. But I think what's gonna be different though is like the mindset that you're in now. It's less about it's less about the external, because it's like there's an internal transformation really going on first. So it'll have just deeper impact, when you do.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I hear Biscuit saying, let's go! So we gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, he's getting too hyped. And actually, I do have to probably get ready to go to work, so.
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, big sister.
But this was good.
Absolutely. As always, it's always great talking to you.
Always. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.